this video, I share with you an interview with Aviva, who is a previous teacher who has now become a network marketing professional with ASEA. She and I have basically grown up in ASEA together. I have watched her grow as a person, grow her organization, and really start to understand the power of this industry and specifically how to build a business here at ASEA. So in this interview, I wanted to kind of give you guys a little bit behind the scenes into how her mind works, how she's been able to stay consistent, what she does that's been able to lead to successful actions in her business. This is someone who had no experience in network marketing. She's never done a business like this before, and yet she has reached the rank of Double Diamond, and I know will be going beyond. So I hope you enjoy this interview and gain some insight from this incredible woman. Aviva, thank you so much for being here today.
It's great to be here. Thank you.
Of course. So can you share with everybody a little bit of your background? What's your career been?
Oh my goodness, it's been like a whirlwind. I started off in the corporate world where I was in human resources, and I decided that I wanted more. I wanted to be able to help people, and I decided to go into education. So
Oh,
I took what I know and I started to teach business at an elite private school. I taught grade 11 and 12, prepped them for university for 16 years.
oh wow.
And at that time, as my son was getting older, I was thinking, I need a little bit more in my life. I didn't know what more was. And I was drinking this stuff called ASEA. And I found out that there was a business opportunity. And then I jumped in with both feet. So I actually ended up leaving the world of education after 16 dedicated years of doing that full time to be where I am right now.
Oh, wow. That's incredible. Yeah, I used to teach as well. Not 16 years, I put in two, and that is it's a hard profession. You definitely get a lot, what you put out, you see, and your kids reflected back, but it's not easy. It definitely takes a lot of grit, I would say, to show up for that for 16 years. Wow. So tell me, what was it about the ASEA business opportunity that kind of caught your attention? Because it sounds like you enjoyed what you were doing teaching. You were having a good time with it. What was it that, was, I don't know, enticing enough to want to leave that career?
So it's funny because when I was first introduced to ASEA, I was introduced to it as a product that was going to help me with some symptoms that I had. And I was on the product for 2 years, not knowing that there was any business opportunity at all. I did not know that I had an upline or a sideline or any line. I had no idea. And after about 2 years almost of being on the product, my upline, who again I didn't know, reached out to me and said, "Hey, do you want to go for dinner?" And I'm like, "Who are you and why are you calling me?"
Right.
When I registered under an ID number that I didn't know who that was, or I didn't know anything, right? So that's why I didn't know about the business opportunity. And so I went for dinner with this woman, and she was telling me about all this network marketing business. And I thought, wow, this is not for me, but thank you for telling me that, because I was so skeptical. And I was happy where I was. I was happy doing what I was. I was raising my son. We were
Mhm.
doing great. I wasn't looking for a side income.
Mhm.
But somewhere along the line, there were people around me that were getting sick, and these people were, for the first time as we were aging, it wasn't people that were people that I heard of through people. All of a sudden, it was people that I knew that were my age. And I started listening and I thought, I need to help them. And I
Mm.
have this blue bottle in my house that I drink every single day that has helped me so much. And I thought, I just need to tell them. I'll tell them about it. So I decided to go online, and I spent about 2 weeks doing a little bit of self-educating on what this ASEA stuff is, because I knew that it helped me, but I never really bothered looking into how it works, what it does. I, I trusted the process,
Yeah.
and I was happy with the results because blood work doesn't lie.
Right.
And I, yeah, I decided that I needed to educate myself. And the more I educated myself, the more fascinated I became with this product. And so I started to share it with just a few close friends, and they had amazing results. And I thought, okay, there's more to this than I know. Maybe I should look into the business opportunity, not for the money, but for the ability to help as many people as I can.
Mm.
And so I continued my education, learning about it. I went to convention. I went on different trips, and I met the amazing people, our amazing family at ASEA. And I fell in love with the culture, with everything about the company. I really aligned with my values and the way I grew up, because I grew up in a very holistic household with my parents both being naturopathic doctors. So to me, it really aligned.
Yeah.
And I got excited, and I realized that I'm excited when I wake up and I have someone to share a SEA with.
Mm.
And
Mhm.
I decided that I was going to talk to everybody and anybody that would listen to me. And that's really how I started my business. I had no idea what I was doing. There was no strategy or plan, or I'd never been in this type of business, but it made me happy. And the people around me made me happy. And
Mm.
so I went with my heart, really.
Yeah. Oh, it's incredible. They always say if you lead with that, everything else follows. And it sounds like, life just kind of perfectly puts you in this position to be able to do that. And I know you and I met. I don't remember how many years ago now, but we met on one of the trips that we had both earned. And I remember vividly sitting at this table. I believe Karen Riley was sitting there with us. And I got to meet you and kind of hear. And I just thought, wow, her journey's been similar to mine. Didn't know the industry, not really sure what we're doing, but somehow just like through pure passion, getting out there, sharing, like it was coming together and it's been clicking together. And, now I would honestly look at you and say you're a professional in this space. You've hit the double diamond rank, which is incredible. And you've really been able to help a lot of other people have success as well, which I think that's evidence of true leadership, is that you've been able to support others, to follow in your footsteps. So tell me, what would you say has been like your most successful action in the business?
So I was afraid of presenting. My biggest fear was standing in a crowded room doing a formal presentation with PowerPoint and all that fancy stuff, and everyone staring at me. And I knew that I needed to keep it simple for my nervous system. And so I came up with this concept of coffee talks, where we would go to a coffee shop, and we would meet people and we would educate, but it was very informal. So people would come and listen, but there was no PowerPoint, there was no structure. It was more of a conversation. It was, people would be able to ask and answer questions, and people would be able to share their stories. But it was casual, and nobody had to get up to the front and speak, and we didn't have to rent a formal hotel room, presentation. It was easy.
Mm.
And I think that is what brought the community, what allowed me to kind of open up a community locally in my area. And that's how really my business evolved at the very beginning. It was, we would meet once a month, and then it became like twice a month because we were growing. And initially when we'd meet, we would be like 3 to 5 people, and then we would be like 13 to 15 people, and then we were like 35 to 45 people.
Oh, wow.
So these coffee talks just blew it up. So that is really, I would say, the foundation of my business. I
Mm.
was not international, I was local,
Yeah.
because I wasn't utilizing other tools. This was the only thing I knew how to do, and I was doing it, it was working.
Yeah.
Um, so that was how, kind of probably the most successful thing that I did. But of course, COVID came upon us a few years ago, and I had to pivot, and I pivoted really fast, and I brought Coffee Talks online. And when
Mm.
I brought Coffee Talks online, we went international, and sales just skyrocketed, ranks just flew. We were now having over 100 people at the meetings.
Oh, wow.
The people would join Coffee Talks, and we had such a great crowd, such a great turn up, and people were learning and excited. And I would say I pivoted online at the exact right time.
Hmm.
So I think that was really my biggest success, because
Yeah.
that's how I bring people in, and
Yeah.
that's how people are open to listening, and it's not formal, and it's not difficult for me to do, and I can do it give me a coffee shop and I can do it anywhere. I
Yeah,
can do
right?
it online. So right now, what I'm doing is I have a hybrid model. So I do both.
Mm-hmm. Smart. Yeah, incredibly smart. I
Yeah.
think, this business, it's one where what you do they always say it has to be able to be duplicatable. And I never understood that word until I got into this. And I went, oh, because I had someone like, I like to present. I was enjoying, like, PowerPoint made me comfortable. Right. And so I could do that. And I remember sitting there one day at the end of a talk and a guy looked at me and said, this is great, but I could never do what you're doing. And I was like, uh-oh.
So
So
really, that's how I felt. Like sometimes I'll look at people and I'd be like, I can't do that. And it scares me. So you shy away from it.
yeah.
And I think the majority of people, while you love to present and you're amazing on camera and you're amazing in person, the majority of people are not. So you need to be duplicatable. You need to bring it down a few levels so that everybody can do what you're doing. And Coffee Talks was so simple and so easy that anybody can do it.
Yep. It's brilliant. I mean, this is like such a beautiful thing that I think anyone listening could sit and go, yeah, I can grab coffee with a friend. We can chat with someone. We can do things. So would you like show pictures? Would you do like trials with the gel? Like, what did you do?
Yeah, we would have product there for sure. So for anyone that wanted to sample it, we would have, if somebody had a headache or whatever, we would, do the 3 and 5 minutes and like what they would tell us that their headache went away and now everyone's paying attention.
Yeah.
Absolutely, we would do that. And we didn't really have pictures. I didn't really show pictures, but we had people that would come into the meetings and share their stories. So instead of watching it on screen or see the testimonial like as a video online, they were physically sitting in the chair and the person or the guest would come in and they'd be able to ask them questions. And
Yeah.
that made it very real. It made it like it brought it to real life. It
Yep.
wasn't just a story we were sharing or telling, it was real life. And people felt really good about that and they felt confident.
Yeah. That's huge. So what would you say the biggest struggle has been for you in this type of business?
Well, network marketing, when you say that word to a lot of people, their red flag goes up.
Right.
So a lot of people are turned off from the industry as a whole. And I understand that because I was also, when I first heard about it, I thought, no way. I mean, network marketing, no. But I can tell you that from knowing nothing and doing nothing, just going intuitively and following your heart and wanting to help people, it comes.
Yeah.
And it is today, I would tell you, it is the absolute best profession out there
Mm.
because first of all, how do you know what you know about what this amazing product is and not share it with everybody,
Mhm.
right? I find that just is a disservice to not share it. But in terms of people understanding and people feeling that passion, I think people have to feel your sincerity. And I'm all heart. I'm in there with both feet, just like you, Danielle. Like, when you experience it on yourself and you've seen what you've done for people, you are just all in.
Yep.
And people feel that.
Yeah.
So
We do. I feel it now. You're getting me fired up. I wish I lived close to you. Could come to coffee talks with you.
I would love that.
It would be a blast. So, if you were to kind of look back at what you know now, how many years in the business now are you?
5.
Okay.
So yeah.
Yeah. So, 5 years into the business, looking at where you are now, what you've learned along the way, what would you say you wished you had known at the beginning that you've kind of had to maybe learn the hard way through the school of life that you now know?
You don't have to be perfect and you don't have to know everything.
Mm,
I find that a lot of people don't want to share with family, friends, or whoever about this amazing technology because they feel that they are not expert enough.
yeah.
And so I feel that that held me back.
Mhm.
I would never let that hold me back again. You don't need to know everything. You need to know where to find the information or to be able to connect people to the information, but you don't need to know everything. And I think that is what slowed me down at the beginning.
Yeah, I would say it slows most people down, especially in like the world of ASEA, because it's a new technology. No one knows what redox is. You then try and explain, and I knew too much. Like I had the opposite problem because my degree's in biology. I would like go all into the cells and this and that, and people are like looking at me like, "What?" So I had to learn to back down from the knowledge. So it's incredible. This business I found also has a ton of just personal development, like the people you meet along the way, the network that you get to make. I mean, can you imagine having the friends that you have now internationally, you know, the business contacts that you've gotten to meet, regardless of if they join your business? I think it's just fascinating that an opportunity like this, like it opens up very unique doors, right?
Absolutely. Some of the people I met, I'm fascinated by them, and I actually pinch myself every morning with the ability to go to work with the people that I love. I mean,
Hmm.
how many people get to say that? You
Yeah.
know, my team has really become like a family, and I'm excited. I'm excited to get together with them. I'm excited to have meetings. I'm excited like to send out those messages on WhatsApp and get everybody going. Like, I love it. And I love what I get back from them. And I've, in all my years, whether it was in human resources or teaching or wherever I was, I have never felt so much personal fulfillment as I do. And that's because of the people that I've met and the personal development that is happening every single day in this industry. It's really amazing.
It is. I know. You just you burn bright, right? And it's just like it sets your soul on fire. That's the only way I can describe it. And you know, it's in you in that way too. And it's beautiful to watch because that means you get to light up a lot of other people. And I think, you know, this industry I think is hidden from a lot of very successful people. Like they don't get it, they don't understand it properly. And when someone like yourself, who has corporate experience, who's been able to teach, like you are a professional in your own right, right? And you walk into an industry like this, I think you bring it a lot of credibility. And also, I think you show that it's possible for anyone because not having any guidance, not knowing what you were doing, but just following your intuition has built an incredible income for you and an incredible business. And I'm wondering if you have any advice for someone that's maybe in a career right now that they don't have their passion, they're not enjoying it, but they need the income, right? And network marketing, the income doesn't come immediately. It can take some time to build up. So any advice for that person that's kind of like maybe wanting to dip a toe but can't quite jump in full thing yet?
So I started off part-time. So whatever you're doing, you can continue to do. I think the biggest thing is consistency. You
Yeah.
show up consistently for your ASEA business and opportunity and are constantly finding a few minutes a day, an hour a day, just to kind of work on that ASEA business. And I think just the accumulation of time and hours and being there will just get you to where you want to be. That's what happened to me. I I was full time. I was a mom. I didn't have time. This was something that I said, okay, I'm going to have ASEA hours. I didn't know what that meant. ASEA hours were a couple of hours a week,
Mm-hmm.
and it grew from there.
Beautiful. Ah, perfectly said. Well, Aviva, thank you so much for coming on here, for carving out some ASEA hours today to do this. I appreciate you, and I can't wait to see the lives you continue to touch along the way.
Thank you. Thank you. You're a doll.